You open your eyes for the very first time, and here we are. You've just been born. Except, hold on, you're not even human. You are a car. Congratulations, you exist in a world where people don't exist. Yet somehow there are cities, gas stations, restaurants, and organized sports leagues. You don't have hands, you don't have a digestive system, and you will never know the comfort of wearing a blanket. You are Lightning McQueen, and your life sucks. Act 1. Built for speed, doomed for vanity. You aren't just any car, you're a race car. You were built in a factory, assembled piece by piece, and rolled off the production line with one goal and one goal only: go fast. Your entire existence is pre-programmed for speed. You don't get to have hobbies. You don't get to have dreams. You don't even get to explore the world like a normal car. Nope. From the moment your engine turns on, you are thrown onto a racetrack and expected to dedicate your entire life to winning. And not just winning, but winning with style. You are given a cocky personality, a signature catchphrase, "Kosh how," and a sponsorship deal with Rusty's, a company that sells bumper ointment for rusty cars. You are at the top of your game, living the dream. Or so you think. Because the problem with being a living race car is that your entire self-worth is tied to how fast you can go. And, buddy, that is a ticking time bomb. Act 2. Racing is your life until it's not. You're the hotshot rookie. Everyone is talking about you. You're winning races, getting interviews, and living the high life. But here's the catch. You have no real friends because you're too arrogant to let anyone get close. You have no real personality outside of being a winner. You have zero self-awareness and assume that you will be fast forever. And then, everything changes. The Piston Cup championship is on the line. You're tied with two other racers, an aging legend, the King, and an absolute menace, Chick Hicks, who will do anything to win. All you have to do is win the final race. Easy, right? Wrong. Because on the way to the championship, your driver falls asleep in the trailer, and you get accidentally dumped onto the highway in the middle of nowhere. And just like that, the fastest car in the world is stranded in the middle of the desert. Act 3. Welcome to Radiator Springs population. Pain. Congratulations, champ. You just went from high-speed superstar to lost, alone, and surrounded by hillbilly tow trucks. You find yourself in Radiator Springs, a forgotten little town on Route 66 that nobody cares about. And because you're Lightning McQueen and you can't help yourself, the first thing you do is ruin their entire road. For this crime, the town forces you to pave the road by yourself. No pit crew, no fancy racetrack. Just you, a tar machine, and the crushing weight of your own ego. And this is where reality hits you like a semi-truck. You are completely helpless without a team. Your tires wear down like any other car. Your engine overheats. Your ego is writing checks your body can't cash. And worst of all, nobody here cares that you're famous. For the first time in your life, you're not treated like a celebrity. You're treated like a regular car. And that, my friend, is an identity crisis you were not ready for. Act 4. The humbling of Lightning McQueen. At first, you resist. You think, this is beneath me. I don't belong here. But then something terrible happens. You start liking it. You make actual friends for the first time in your life. A rusty tow truck named Mater thinks you're the coolest guy in the world, despite you being an absolute jerk to him at first. A beautiful Porsche named Sally teaches you about enjoying life instead of constantly chasing the next win. And then there's Doc Hudson, an old washed-up race car who used to be exactly like you. Fast, famous, untouchable, until one crash ended his career and everyone forgot about him. And that's when it hits you. This is your future. One day, you will no longer be fast enough. One day, a newer, younger racer will replace you. One day, you will be forgotten. And that is the moment when being Lightning McQueen goes from pretty bad to completely horrifying. Act 5. The Piston Cup Final. The realization that haunts you forever. You finally make it back to the big leagues. The final race is here. This is your chance to prove yourself. And then it happens. The King crashes. An aging legend, a former champion, now lying wrecked on the track, just like Doc Hudson before him. And in that moment, you realize winning means nothing if it costs you your soul. So instead of crossing the finish line first, you stop. You go back and push the King across the finish line, making sure he finishes his last race with dignity. The crowd goes wild. You've just pulled off the biggest act of sportsmanship in history. And what's your reward? You still lose the Piston Cup. Because Chick Hicks, the most aggressively mediocre racer in existence, takes advantage of your kindness, zooms past, and wins. That's right. You just had the biggest personal growth moment of your life, and the universe still punched you in the face. Life is unfair, buddy. Act 6. The crushing reality of aging, aka time always wins. You settle down in Radiator Springs, balancing racing with friendship. You think maybe life isn't so bad after all. And then a few years later, the next generation arrives. Jackson Storm, a sleek, younger, faster, better racer built for a new era. And just like that, you're too slow to keep up. You try, you push yourself, you train harder than ever, but you can't stop time. Suddenly, you're in Doc Hudson's shoes. You're the aging legend watching as the sport moves on without you. Your entire identity, being the fastest, is now meaningless. You realize the truth. You were never going to be fast forever. Your whole life was built on something temporary. And that is the ultimate curse of being Lightning McQueen. Final thoughts. Why it sucks to be Lightning McQueen. Let's recap. You were literally manufactured for one purpose: going fast. Your entire identity is based on speed, which is temporary. Your arrogance isolates you from having real friends. You are completely helpless without a team. You age, your speed fades, and you eventually become irrelevant. And the worst part? Even after everything, you can never truly escape racing. Because in the end, you become Doc Hudson. You become the mentor. You train the next generation, watching them take the spotlight you once had. Your career, your fame, your speed, it all fades. And that, my friends, is why it sucks to be born as Lightning McQueen.